Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is T of the FTK Crochet brand and I am back with another tutorial. So today we are going to be making the tutorial for this beautiful poncho that I'm wearing. It is a step-by-step detailed tutorial, so it is beginner friendly. If you are new to crochet, this is something you can actually make for yourself or for a loved one. But before we go into today's tutorial, have you subscribed to my channel yet? Don't you think you are missing too much not subscribed to this channel? So I'm going to give you a minute now to click on that subscription bell below so you do not miss out on any of the tutorials that I post on here. And make sure you turn on the notification bell as well so that whenever I post any video right here, you will be the first to know. Okay, and make sure you're following me on all of my social media accounts as well. It's same name at FTK Crochet. Alright, because I make the announcement today as well. Alright, so without any further ado, let us get into today's business. Okay, so for this project, these are the materials that you are going to need. You are going to be needing your yarn, of course. So I'm using this Merino wool. So it's too tiny for me, so I'm going to be putting 2 strands together because I want this work to be heavier. All right, the project I'm working on, I want it to be heavier, so just one of the strand is too tiny. And if you are following my channel, you will realize that I don't like working with tiny yarns, so I'm going to be putting 2 strands together to make it fuller. But you can go ahead to use whatever yarn you feel comfortable using. It doesn't have to be exactly what I am using. I just like the texture of this one, how soft it looks. That's why I'm going for this particular wool. It's 100% wool, merino wool. All right, so you need a scissors, you need a tapestry needle to weave in your ends when you are done, and then you need some stitch markers. You're going to need your measurement tape as well, very important. And then for this project, I'm going to be working with a 5.5mm hook size. All right, if you have a tight crochet tension, you can go with a 6mm hook size. Okay, so let us get into it. Okay, so the measurement you're going to need for this one is around your head, the circumference of your head. All right, that is the core measurement that you are going to need for this particular project. Okay, because we want to be able to wear our poncho through our head. All right, because we are going to be walking around. So whatever you get from the measurement around your head, that is the foundation chain that you are going to be making. All right, so for this one now, around my head is 23. So I'm going to be making a foundation chain now of 23 inches. Okay, so you go ahead to make your own foundation chain, and when I come back, I'll tell you how many chains I end up making and what we're going to be doing next. Okay, so I now have my foundation chain, and if I forget, when you make your foundation chain, make sure you make it in multiples of 3. All right, multiples of 3. So for this one, I ended up making 90 chains. All right, so this 90 chains is exactly what I'm going for, is the size that I'm going for. But right now I will advise that you make it like a circle, just like this, and wear it on your head. Okay, wear it through your head and make sure it passes through your head. That is a very good way to actually make your measurement too. All right, so you know that if it is too small, you can add more, then if it is too big, you can reduce. All right, so now we are going to be walking around like I told you. So what you do, you are going to join at the end here, but before you do that, make sure this parts of the chain is straight because we don't want our work rolling around. All right, so make sure you do it straight and end up at the end right here. This part is very tricky, so I always advise you take your time to actually do it so you get the very first stitch right here. So you see this stitch right here. Now you are going to be doing a slip stitch on that very last stitch here. Okay, just like this. You go into the stitch, pull out a loop just like this, and pull out the other loop right here. This is how you do your slip stitch. All right, so now to begin the row 1, you are going to chain up 2, 1 and 2. So on this same stitch now, you are going to be going in there with a double crochet. So for this row 1, we are just going to be making 1 double crochet on each of the stitches all around. All right, so working on the chain is very tricky, so be careful. Make sure you are going into each of the stitches one after the other. All right, and make sure you are counting your stitches. So like I told you, I made 90 chains, so at the end of the day I'm supposed to have exactly 90 double crochet stitches. All right, so you continue doing your double crochet all around and I will meet you at the end here. Okay, so I'm at the end of the double crochet row now. So to end on this row, you are going to be doing a slip stitch on the very first stitch that you started with right here, just like this. All right, so now we are going to be starting on the rows proper. So the reason why I said that, on this poncho we are going to be using the V stitches. All right, so this row 1 now, which is this double crochet row, I'm not going to be counting it as row 1 because this is just going to be like the foundation of the whole poncho. All right, so now this is when we are going to be starting our row 1. All right, so before we start that, you are going to be marking the two corners. So we are going to be using this part now as one of the corners, which is this very first stitch that we did our slip stitch on. This is going to be representing our first corner. So what you are going to do now, count exactly the same stitch on this side and count on this side. Let it be exactly the same thing. Okay, so for my own now, I did 90 chains. All right, so on this side I counted 45 stitches, and on the other side I counted 45 stitches. That is what gave me this corner right here. That's why you see I had to put a stitch marker here. So you do your own count, because these two places, they are the places that we are going to be using for the increases. All right, so now to begin this first row, so we are going to be calling this one now row 1, like I said. Okay, so this is going to be our first increase stitch. All right, so now you are going to chain up 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So on this same stitch now where you did the slip stitch, you are going to be going in there with 1 double crochet, just like this. And like I said, this is going to be our first increase stitch. You are going to chain up 2, and on this same stitch you are going to be going in there with 1 double crochet, then chain up 1 and 1 more double crochet. So this is our first increase. So this first one now is a V, chain up 2 and then another V. Okay, so now you are going to chain up 1 again, skip 2 stitches, and on the third stitch you are going to be going in there with a V. So a V is 1 double crochet, chain 1 and another double crochet inside same stitch. That is what we are going to be referring as a V on this particular project. All right, so chain up 1, skip 2 stitches, and on the third stitch you go there with a V. Then chain up 1 again, skip 2 stitches, and on the third you go in there with a V. So you remember what the V is made of, right? Chain up 1 again, skip 2 stitches, 1 double crochet, chain 1, and on same stitch 1 double crochet. That is what is giving you the V. All right, so this is exactly what you are going to be doing until you get to this stitch marker here, which is the second corner like I told you about. So when I get here, I'll come back to show you how we are going to be doing the increase on this part as well. All right, okay, so I've gotten to where our next stitch marker is, which is the second corner. So this is how it's looking so far. All right, so as you can see now, we have just 2 stitches before the stitch marker. So you're going to remove the stitch marker from here. So now you're going to skip the chain up 1 as usual, then skip this 2 stitch. Then on this third stitch where we just removed the stitch marker, you're going to be going in there with another increase. So you remember the increase we did on the very first stitch. You put in your first V, which is chain double crochet, chain 1 and another double crochet, then chain up 2, 1 and 2, and on that same stitch now you're going to be going in there with another V. double crochet, chain one, and another double crochet. So you see, it's as easy as that. This is how you do your increase, and the increases, they are only going to be taking place in the very first stitch here and on this middle parts. Okay, so if you want to still mark it, you can still go ahead and put your stitch marker on the middle stitch right there. Okay, because that is where the increases will be happening. All right, so now to continue, you are just going to chain up one, skip 2 stitches, and on the 3rd stitch you go in there with your V. Chain up one, skip 2 stitches, and on the 3rd you go in there with your V. So you already know what to do on this parts. Just keep doing that now until you get to the very end of the row 1. And when I get to the end of the row 1, I'll come back to show you how we end it and how we begin the row 2. Okay? Okay, so I'm at the end of the row 1 now, and as you can see, I have just 2 stitches left right here. All right, so to end on this row, you are going to chain up 1 like we've been doing, and now you are going to be doing a slip stitch on the very 3rd chain stitch to end this row. So you see, we still have our first V intact. All right, so now to get to this middle, this chain 2 parts, now you are going to be doing a slip stitch inside this first V, and now you do a slip stitch on this stitch, and now you do a slip stitch on this chain 2 space. You see, now you see how the slip stitches carried us to where we need to do our next increase. Okay, so now to begin this row, you are going to chain up 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and don't forget, this is our increase stitch. All right, so now you are going to yarn over and do a double crochet, because this chain 4 now, like I told you, is going to be our first double crochet, chain 1, and then another double crochet to give us our very first V. Okay, so now chain up 2, since this is our increase space, this same space now you are going to be going in there with another V. So this is our first increase for the row 2. All right, so now you chain 1, and on this space after this V, you are going to be going in there with a V. Chain 1, skip this V, and on the space you go in there again with a V. And on the next space, chain up 1 and go into the next space with a V. So you see how it's looking now. You see how our V stitches are coming out. So this is exactly what you are going to be doing until you get to the next part here where we need to do our next increase. All right. Okay, so I'm at the point where we need to do our next increase. All right, so now you are going to chain up 1 as usual. So you see this chain 2 space now where we left our stitch marker, you are going to remove your stitch marker from there. So the chain 2 space now, you are going to go in there with a double crochet, chain up 1, and on that same space you are going to be going in there with a double crochet to create your very first V, like we've been doing. But like you know already, this is an increase space, so we are going to chain up 2. You are only allowed to chain 2 on the increase space. Okay, so on this same space now, after the chain 2, you are going to be going in there with another V, just like this. Okay, so you can go ahead to put your stitch marker back on that chain 2 space. Okay, so now just continue doing what you're doing. Chain up 1, go into the next space and create a V. Chain up 1, go into the next space and create a V. So continue doing this, and I'm going to meet you at the very end to show you how we are going to be ending it and starting the next row. Okay, so I'm at the end of the row 2, and to end this row you are going to chain up 1 as usual. So you are going to be doing a slip stitch on the third chain right here, just like this. All right, so now to get us to this chain 2 point where we need to do our next increase on this row, you are going to do a slip stitch inside this first V, just like this, a slip stitch on the next stitch, and a slip stitch inside this chain 2 space. All right, so now to begin this row, you are going to chain up 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4. All right, so on this space now, like you already know, this is our increase stitch. You are going to do a V, because this chain 4 is going to be representing 1 double crochet and chain 1. So now we have our first V, then chain up 2, and on this same space now you are going to be going in there with a V, just like this. So it's just the repetition of row 2. That is what you're doing on the row 3 as well, and that is what you are going to be doing on the entire poncho. Okay, so you already know what to do. You are going to chain up 1, go into the next space right here and do a V inside that space. Chain up 1, go into the next space and do a V inside that space. So like I said, it's just the repetition of the row 2. That is what you are going to continue. Okay, so when you get to this next space in this next point now where we need to do the increase, you do your normal increase and just continue putting in your V until you get to the finished line here again, and do a slip stitch on the chain 3 stitch right here to end, and do a slip stitch, go into the space, and just continue working. So this is exactly what you are going to be doing for the entire length of the poncho. Okay, so I'm going to go off camera now to keep creating mine. Okay, and I'm going to come back to tell you how many rows I end up making and what we are going to be doing next. Okay, so I'm done with my rows, and this is how it's looking so far. So I ended up making 30 rows altogether. You can see my color play. It's so cute. I love this yarn. The yarn is shiny and it's soft. It's so beautiful. So as you can see, we are actually done with our poncho right here. But if you know you want to make yours a turtleneck, you can just go ahead to put in front post and back posts double crochet. All right, if you don't know how to do that, just go down to my last poncho video I made a turtleneck on that one. You can learn how to do that if that is what you want on your own. All right, but for this one, this is how I'm leaving my own. Okay, so this is how the whole thing is looking. So now the next step, we are going to be putting fringes right here. So like I told you, my color play, now the yellow color is what I'm going to be using for my fringe. I do hope by now we all know how to add fringes to our crochet project. If not, it's simple. The yarn that you've been using, or whatever yarn you want to use for your fringe, just take it and cut it accordingly. Make sure they are all the same sizes. And then now you are going to take, depending on how full you want your fringe to be, that is how you are going to be making these parts. Okay, so for mine, I want to use 5. Because of the tiny yarn, I'm going to be making 5 in one of the holes. All right, so I'm going to be starting from the end here, this part where I ended the thing here. So to put your fringe, let me bring it down so you see what I'm doing. Okay, so you are going to put your hook inside the hole just like this. Then you take it like this. Make sure you are picking the entire 5 and pass it through. Well, in this my case now, like I told you, I'm using 5, so you pass it through just like this and remove your hook gently, and then put your hand inside the hole that you created right here and pick the bottom just like this and bring it out on this part and then tie. So this is how you make your fringe. You see how easy? So take another 5, and make sure when you are doing it they are equal, all right, so that when you are trimming they will all come out as uniform. So make it equal. So as you can see, I have equal 5 now. So take your hook again and go into the next space right here. Put your hook inside the space and collect it like this and pass it through. Make sure there is space right here. Remove your hook, put your thumb and pointer finger here and pick this part like you're tying a knot, just like this. So this is how you do your fringes. So I'm going to go off camera now to make all of my fringes on the holes all around, and I'll come back to show you the finished result. All right. Okay, so I'm done adding the fringe, and this is how it's looking so far. So as you can see, I tried to do the trimming and this is what I get. So this is it. It's so beautiful. You see how lovely this yarn looks. So at the top here, I ended up putting just 1 single crochet with the yellow color because I want the yellow from here, the contrast, to be at the top here as well. So that's why I did the yellow single crochet. It's just 1 single crochet, 1 row of single crochet. It's actually optional. You don't have to do that if you are using just 1 color. I just want the yellow from here to be on top of here. That is why I did that. Okay, so this is the finished result. It's so cute. The table is not really giving you how beautiful this thing is. Alright, so with this, we've come to the end of today's tutorial. I do hope you enjoy watching this video as much as I did creating the video. If you do, make sure to like this video and share it to your friends and your family who wants to make something as beautiful as this. Alright, and if you've not subscribed to my channel before now, I don't know what you're waiting for. Don't you think you are missing too much not subscribed to this channel? So you go ahead now and subscribe to this channel so you do not miss out on all of the beautiful tutorials that I post on here. Alright, and if you have any questions about this project, feel free to drop it on my comment section and I will be happy to help. All right, so until next time, bye bye.